Vanilla Ice doesn't usually pop up in serious conversations about hip-hop power dynamics, but maybe that's exactly why his recent statements are hitting so hard. He's not chasing clout. He's not trying to get a feature or go viral on TikTok. He's been through the industry machine, chewed up and spit out, and now he's calling out what he believes is a dark system running behind the scenes. And the names he's bringing up aren't small players. He's talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, two of the biggest powerhouses in music history. For decades, Jay-Z and Diddy have stood as symbols of success. They went from hustling in the streets to becoming billionaires in boardrooms. They've been celebrated for breaking barriers and creating opportunities. But what if all of that came at a hidden cost? What if the rise of their empires was built not just on talent and vision, but on broken dreams and the silent suffering of young artists who never got their shot? According to Vanilla Ice, the rap game isn't just competitive, it's calculated. He's claiming that young rappers, especially those with potential to shine too bright, were often brought into the system just to be controlled. And once they weren't useful anymore, they were pushed aside, their careers frozen or ruined, their voices silenced. The way he puts it, Jay-Z and Diddy didn't just outsmart the industry. They allegedly manipulated it in a way that made sure they stayed on top, even if that meant sacrificing fresh talent in the process. It's a harsh thing to say, but when it comes from someone who's lived through the machine, you can't just brush it off. Vanilla Ice has nothing to lose and no reason to lie. He remembers what it was like to be the hottest name in music, only to have the industry turn on him. He's seen how fast the machine can build you up and tear you down. And now, decades later, he's calling attention to what he says is a pattern that didn't stop. It just got slicker. He's not pointing fingers at the entire industry. He's focusing on the ones at the very top, the ones with enough power to decide who gets a spotlight and who disappears in the shadows. He's talking about talented young rappers who were promised the world, only to be shelved. Some of them had hit records ready to drop. Some had tours lined up, fans waiting, momentum building, and then nothing. It's like they vanished. Careers paused indefinitely. And behind those disappearances, Vanilla Ice suggests, were decisions made in backrooms, not based on talent, but on fear. Fear that these young artists might become too big. Fear that they might disrupt the pecking order. Fear that they might become competition. This isn't just a theory either. He's not alone in noticing the pattern. Fans have been asking for years what happened to certain artists. Rappers who seemed destined for greatness, only to fall off the map with no explanation. Contracts nobody could break. Legal issues that popped up out of nowhere. Personal struggles that got amplified in the press. It always seemed like bad luck, until you start connecting the dots. And Vanilla Ice is saying we need to look deeper, because this isn't just about failed careers. It's about human lives. Young people who gave everything to the music, only to be used as stepping stones. Artists who trusted the wrong people, who signed contracts they didn't understand, who thought they were being brought into a family, only to find out they were just temporary tools. And when their usefulness ran out, the doors closed, and the silence was loud. Jay-Z and Diddy have both built massive brands off the idea that they uplift others, that they give back, that they mentor. And maybe that's true, to a point. But Vanilla Ice is asking a different question. What happens when those they uplift start looking like threats? Do they still support them? Or do they find a way to quietly shut them down? He's not accusing them of random greed or casual exploitation. He's saying it's a system, a method, something done with intention. A system where signing a young rapper wasn't always about growing their career. It was sometimes about controlling their momentum, locking them in, making sure they couldn't work with anyone else, and then shelving them when the time was right. It's a brutal strategy if true, and it could explain why so many promising careers suddenly stalled, for no clear reason. The story Vanilla Ice is telling isn't about the flashy part of the industry. It's not about yachts and Grammys. It's about the contracts, the phone calls, the quiet threats, the smiling faces that disappear when the cameras are off. He's pulling back the curtain on a part of the business that fans don't usually see. A place where success isn't always earned, and failure isn't always deserved. This isn't the first time someone has accused major players of using and discarding artists. But it's rare to hear someone call out Jay-Z and Diddy by name, especially in the same breath, and especially so directly. And it makes you wonder, how many more stories like this are out there? How many rappers, singers, and producers have stayed silent because they were too scared to speak? Because they knew that crossing certain people meant career suicide? What makes these allegations even more intense is the timing. Both Jay-Z and Diddy are facing more public scrutiny than ever. Diddy's name has come up in serious legal cases. Jay-Z is being criticized for his influence and control behind the scenes. People are starting to ask questions, and Vanilla Ice's voice is adding fuel to the fire. Some people might try to dismiss him, call him washed up, say he's just trying to stay relevant. But that would be missing the point. He's not trying to be a part of the current scene. He's trying to tell the truth about what he saw, what he experienced, and what he believes is still happening. And when someone with nothing to gain starts speaking out, maybe we should listen even harder. Because the bigger issue here is about the future. If what he's saying is true, then this isn't just about the past. It's about how the industry treats the next generation, how young talent is discovered, signed, and handled. It's about power, control, fear, and what happens when protecting your throne becomes more important than growing the kingdom. The hip-hop world loves stories about rising from nothing, about turning struggle into success. But Vanilla Ice is asking us to look at the stories that didn't get told, the ones that were buried, the artists who were blocked before they even got started. And if the people at the top had a hand in that, it changes everything. It forces fans to rethink who they support, to look past the brand names and listen to the stories behind the scenes, to ask if the gatekeepers are really helping the culture, or just helping themselves. And maybe, just maybe, if more people speak up like Vanilla Ice has, the industry will finally be forced to face the truth. Because fame shouldn't come at the cost of freedom, and no artist should be sacrificed for someone else's legacy.